Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here I am again, giving God glory. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for waking us up this morning. To you who is alive and who was up this morning, give God glory and give Him praise, because many of us were not as fortunate to get up this morning. So if you have, give Him praise. Thank Him. And also, Lord, we just ask for your guidance and your protection during the day. Cover us. Thank you, Lord, for your wonderful protections, your tender mercies. Cover us as we walk through and go through each day. Teach us your will and cause us to be obedient people, because I know we are so rebellious. We can be so rebellious. So we just want to give God glory and thanks this morning. Okay. I started my discussion, but I don't know. It keeps locking me off. Cutting me off. So I decided to just do it on my personal page. Here we go. I'm discussing the Constitution of Belize, as I promised, so that we can understand our rights, and for the people who are not afforded the right to read, the privilege, to read and write, that by hearing this video, by listening to it, that they will also understand their right. Okay, what their rights are. So we're doing part E of the Constitution right now. And just a refresher to let you understand that the opening of the Constitution starts with acknowledging God as a supreme being in Belize. And secondly, it highlights that we have equal and inalienable rights that has been given to us by God Himself, by our Creator, not by any man. So it's not for anybody to take those away from us. And if we do relinquish those rights, it would be you that give it up. Nobody has that that right to take away your rights when it comes to your God-given rights, your fundamental rights. And some of those include freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, culture, freedom of assembly, where you can gather together, freedom of movement, where you can move freely and nobody can't tell you, well, you can't go here and you can't go there. That is a constitutional right. That is a God-given right. Nobody is supposed to stop your movement, right? Also, aside from the freedom of movement, you also have the freedom to carry out trade and business for your livelihood. Nobody's supposed to stop you from trade, from carrying out any business that would help or assist in your livelihood or making your livelihood adequate. Matter of fact, in the Constitution, it also lets you know that you have that right to adequate means of livelihood, right? And that is part B of the Constitution, which deals with labor. That labor should not be exploited or forced, and we know that in this country that is a big problem, because majority of our people are operating, they're working, right? Their labor is being exploited. Why? Most of our people are overworked and underpaid, right? And they're working in inhumane conditions. And some of these inhumane conditions lend to death, to sickness, cut off their life, shorten their life so that they're not able to Hi, good morning, Gary. I was just thinking about you. Actually, I just write your name though. I said I was going to contact you. Good morning. Yes, and so we want to address these things, right? And most of the time these things happen because people don't understand their right. They don't know. And because they don't know, then their rights are exploited, violated. So I'm hoping in an effort by sharing sharing this, that people will understand, when their rights are being violated, and stop it. If you're a laborer and your rights is being your labor is being exploited, or you're forced due to economic necessity, and this is another big one, because people are just they go to work, but it's due to economic necessity. They have a need, so then they resort to just take anything because they have that need, and people exploit them because they have that need. right? This Constitution protects everybody against that, you know. But as I said, it's not something that is being upheld, and I think that it's high time that we get to the Constitution and understand what we are to do from what we're not to do. So you can be held accountable. I can be held accountable. If you're an employee, if you're an employer, that you are able to make sure that your employees are not working in inhumane conditions. You understand? Because you will have to answer for that at some point. You will, okay? And if we are supposed to start looking out for each other, it begins then. It begins right here. This Constitution right here, right? And that's why I decided to do these videos sharing about the Constitution so that we can all understand what is our rights, because most of us, our rights are being violated. Good morning, Kim. How are you? And good morning to everybody who just logged on. Thank you for listening in. Having a little discussion on the Constitution again. There'll be other videos, but my task right now is to get this Constitution into the ears and into the understanding and into the mind of the common man, our brothers and sisters who do not know. Myself, you know, there's some parts of it that I didn't know. So, and that's why I'm saying I share this with people, right? So we understand that the opening parts of the Constitution automatically acknowledges God. So we cannot take God out of our lives. He plays a big role in everything in this earth and in the land, because the Constitution was founded on principles acknowledging God's supremacy. And if we're acknowledging His supremacy again, I must reiterate that His word is also supreme. And we can't take out and put in. Thank you. We can't take out and put in what we want, when we want, how we want. You understand? We have to go. There have to be a standard that we keep. Okay. So, and the next part of the Constitution, Part A, same Part A, gives us equal and inalienable rights that is God given. No man, no pastor, no mother, father, nobody can take these away from you unless you give it up, as what we see happening right now, where we have a lot of people, our rights are being trampled on left, right, and center. Okay? And to me, it's not even, to me, it has gotten to the point that the people, the lawyers that are supposed to be in the courts defending these constitutional rights, you know, and or God-given rights. Because I look at it at two separate things. You have God-given rights, you have constitutional rights. The constitutional rights, because you have people who don't believe in God, all right, who do not acknowledge God, right? But nevertheless, those rights are still for them, whether they acknowledge or not, whether they want to give Him that position or not. Those rights are still theirs. No, for them that don't want to acknowledge God, then you have the Constitution. That's the law of the land. And in section Part 1, Section 2, makes it clear, makes it unequivocally clear that this Constitution is the supreme law of Belize. And if any other law, and this is what we need to understand, the importance of this, because these people get into the house and start throwing essays here and essays there. You understand? And we need to understand the implications of those essays as well. If it is inconsistent with this Constitution, it is null and void. It doesn't hold any water. Okay? There is no law that trumps the Constitution. None. And lawyers tend to have this tendency to try and interpret the law for their convenience. That stops. That has to stop. There is no interpretation. You can't twist the sand on this anymore. We can't do it anymore. All right, because it's baffling to see that how our constitutional rights are being just stomped and trampled on. This new cyber crime bill. Man, look, if people really pay attention, When it comes to these lawyers, right? The Bible tells you, there's a verse in the Bible that says, the enemy frameth mischief by law. That's God's word. He didn't put it there just for that, for style and fashion. The enemy frameth mischief by law. So we need to understand these laws, because it's these same laws that they're using to suppress us and oppress us. All right? And the lawyers that know, that have the knowledge, instead of them protecting our rights, because our rights is their rights too. But you see, I guess they take the stand to say, well, if they're not me, then I'm not concerned, or it's not me. But you should be concerned, because whatever happens to one person can at any time happen to you. You're not immune. I mean, today you could be riding a high horse, and in the next split second, you're thrown off of that horse. Yes, what happens to me can happen to you. What happened to you can happen to me. So we need to stop this attitude of to say, you know what, as long as it's not bothering me, it's not my problem. It is, as long as we're living within the society, everything that affects one person affects you at some point, whether directly or indirectly, right? It does affect us. And so we need to take on this attitude that, you know what, all for one and one for all. We have to take that on, because we're living in some trying times where freedoms, your liberties are being snatched right before our very eyes. And people are just taking this laid back. It's not me. That they ain't over there. No, it's not. It's them over there now. But in the next couple minutes, it can be you, and then there will be nobody to defend you. So we have to do something about it, right? So again, we talk about the God being the supreme law, the supreme being of the land, as the Constitution states. Then in part B, it goes on to talk about principles of social justice. And my video on part B was extremely long, because it dealt with a lot. There was a lot of things there to discuss, right? And how that the economic system must result in material resources of the community to be distributed so to serve the common good. And we all know that again is not happening in our life, in our country. And it's not just in this country either. I'm noticing that this is like a worldwide thing, but it doesn't have to be for us. We can choose, we can choose different. And that's why I'm here. I'm challenging you to choose different, right? For us to choose different this morning, to choose for us, to choose for our children, to choose for our children's children, okay? And the part on this, the part B that I was touching a lot on, is the fact that labor should not be exploited or forced. And we know that, again, a lot of our people are living, they're overworked and underpaid. So that's exploitation of labor. And we can't sit comfortable while this is happening, because this is a violation of rights. And wherever rights are violating, then the hand of God has to move. It's not whether he wants to or if he wants to. His hand has to move if there are violation of his rights, right? Because we're not supposed to do that. The poor will always be with us. The Bible tells you that. There's no eradication of poverty. There is no, we have to get rid of the poverty and poor, because there are, no. Poverty is also a chastisement, because if you get all high and mighty, if you get too high and mighty, today you might have a lot and you're prospering. But because you get too high and mighty and prideful, in a second, you become right there with the poor. So it's for chastisement as well. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Poverty creates balance. Okay? What we are to do is to look out for the poor, which we are guilty of not doing. That is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to look out for them. But they're not going anywhere. No, There ain't no eradication of poverty here. No, they're not going anywhere. The poor will always be with us. Not my words, not my words, but those words were Christ's words. Those came out of his mouth. The poor will always be with us. And it's the truth. But we are to look after them. We're supposed to tend to them. Feed the home, the hungry, clothe the naked, Look after the widows and the orphans. That's what we're supposed to do. Those that are blessed, that God has blessed and has given you, That's what we're supposed to be doing. All right? So when it comes to the exploitation of our labor, it's everybody's business. Not because it doesn't concern you. It is your business. And if you are an employee, like I said, and if you feel like you're in an environment where you're working in inhuman conditions, leave that job. Leave it, because it will cut your life short through sickness or death. Okay? And nobody's job is worth that. Nobody's job. All right? God put us here to live and to multiply, to produce, to be active. Well, you can't be doing that at somebody's job that is causing your health. And if you guys want to be honest, I'm talking the truth. It's everywhere. People working in inhumane conditions because of necessity. They have to, because they don't have, they don't have this and they don't have that. So they feel that they have to just take whatever comes their way. And then the people who are providing these jobs to them, exploit that because they know that they don't have. No, this is a right. A right. We should be exploiting people even if they have an economic need. Make it even worse if they have an economic need. No, it's wickedness. It's wickedness, and you are calling the judgment of God on your hands. Okay, you're calling the judgment of God. So here now, when we get to what else did it talk about in part B of the Constitution? Oh, opportunity when you work, that there should be opportunity for advancement based on merit, ability, and integrity. Right? People work for people in this country for years. Would walk from here to the moon for their employers. Okay? And the employers do not invest in their employees. Not even simple thing as a common wage increase. People working for people for years without an increase, without a wage increase. That is craziness. It's wicked. It is wicked. Everybody deserves the opportunity for advancement based on ability. And we know we have some hardworking people in this country. People like to talk and say Belizeans are lazy and this and that. No. It's not that. No, man. We have hardworking people in this country. Loyal people. Why do you think the PUDP system keep going back and forth? Because they're loyal people. They're loyal. Just exploited. Or people are just being exploited. Okay? So when you have your workers and they invest themselves in you, in your business, give back to them, man. Give back to them. Do not stifle them. That's wrong. It's outright wrong. Okay? And you're not going to be blessed because of that. You actually hold yourself back. Your business won't prosper. You won't prosper as you should because you do things like that, right? And this Constitution speaks about that. So it gives people the right that they're not supposed to work under certain conditions, right? All right. And then the next part of that, like I said, based on recognition of merit and ability and integrity, give people what they're due. And then in the same, like when we're talking about these government, these political parties that are in, we have to start to check the report card because they are employees of the people. They're not kings and queens governing us. They are the people's employees. So we ought to treat them as employees, paid employees. Yes, it's a national service, but it's also a paid position. So just as how you would put certain you would expect certain things from your employees, It's the same thing we need to expect from the people managing the affairs of the country. You understand? Whether it's PUP, UDP, or any P or anybody. All right? Check their status. Do a review. Okay, you want an advancement for the next 5 years? Okay, well, let's see what you have done. Let's see what your report card looks like. Let's see what your review, your work review looks like. Let's see if you are worthy of that advancement for the next, so we can continue. We can hire you, keep you on, bring you on another contract for another 5 years. And if that is not proper, then you know what you would do with your employees. You would either let them go, or you would, if somebody is not performing, or if they're putting the business at risk, you're not going to keep them on. So we need to have that same mentality when it comes to people managing the affairs of the country. They are employees. They are not gods. And we need to stop treating them like that. If we start treating them as employees, then you will see different. Because the system is there, but it's the caliber of people that we keep electing. And for the people that like to say, everybody go there and do the same thing. Yes, because the party has a constitution. The parties have a policies that governs their parties. And those constitutions and those policies put people last. So it doesn't matter if they bring in somebody new, a fresh face, good intentions, great ideas. Those ideas and stuff get stifled because of the constitution of the party that says our party is first. So therefore, if a member or members of the party is in error, you still have to support it. That's why I'm running independent. That is why. It's craziness. Okay? So here we go. The same part we talk about the equal protection should be given to children. So whatever, all these rights that are in here trickles down to children. All right? Children should be treated based on the basis of equality, regardless of their social status. There's not one child more deserving than another child. Just as how there is not a person more deserving than another person. It doesn't work like that. Not according to this constitution. A matter of fact, not according to the Bible, to the Word of God either. All right, so we need to get back to basics. We need to get back to basics, man. All right? That a just system should also be in place to provide for education and health for children on the basis of equality. So basically, your education now, it doesn't depend on who your parents are or who your parents are not. We're supposed to provide for education and health. And this country is rich enough. This country is rich. People don't understand how rich Belize is. But if you have a bunch of certified fools, as I call them, educated illiterates, as I call them, managing the affairs of the country, who are greedy, all for themselves, or my granny would say, gravalicious. Okay? Want. You understand? Just like the grave, they're never full. The cemetery is never full. And so are these people governing PUP and UDP. They're never full. They're worse than the grave. Okay? And this is a generational thing. So we need to start nip these things in the bud. Because our people do deserve better. I deserve better. You deserve better. And I understand my rights. And I understand the position I play in the human family. And I understand that we're all children of God. No, man. That's not our portion. Crumbs is not our portion. We have a seat at the table with our own plate. We don't need nobody to be sharing out of their plate and scraping the crumbs, giving it to us. No. That's enough. Our country is rich. Exactly. I agree with you, Gary. And that is my problem. Because we're not leaving anything for the future generations. Nothing. That's wicked. I have children. I have cousins, nieces, nephews, friends, friends that I treat like family. You don't think that I want best for them? Why wouldn't I? And why wouldn't you want best for your friends, for your family, for your children and their children's children? Why would you not want that? Why would you not want that? All right. So I'm just at a stance where, what can I do? Well, this is what I'm doing. I'm standing up. I'm not even standing because I'm so tired of hearing that word standing, because you can get up and stand up, but you're in the same position, only standing. It's time to rise. So we elevate, we go from one point to the other, right? And part of me sharing and having these discussions on the Constitution is for that, so that we can start rising, not just standing anymore. We have to rise, because as nature points out to you, anything that doesn't change or grow dies. No. Other people would take the stand and say, you know what happened? Well, we're not going to have to turn rock stone. I agree with you. We're not here to turn rock stone. But we're not supposed to die before our time either. We're not supposed to die before we have accomplished that thing that we were born to do. And a lot of people, a lot of dreams are being cut short because you're dying early. We're cutting off ourselves early by violating and trampling on people's rights. By watching people's rights being trampled on, we are cutting ourselves off. We are killing our own selves and not even realize it. Okay? So it's time, for me, it's time. I sat many days and trying to think and say, what can I contribute? All right? I offer myself for politics, but why did I do that? I'm hoping that other people will do the same. I'm hoping not. It's not because I really want to do it. But if I'm bold enough to stand up and do it, I'm going to do it. But I'm not doing it for me. Please don't ever think for a moment that I am in politics for me. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a very simple person. I don't require much. You put me in a foul club and I'm good. That will be the best foul club ever, because I'll pimp it out. Okay? So it's not about that for me. It's not. It's about doing something that will bring that change. And it starts with you. It starts with me. And it starts with you. A lot of people discourage me. Oh, this, that, independent, and make no sense. And I don't care. I really don't care. I'm doing what I want to do. Right? I'm doing what I want to do. It's my constitutional right. As it is yours. We have good people in this country. You know? We have brilliant minds in this country, just sitting, just wasting away. Just wasting brilliant minds. No, that's wrong. It's wrong. You can't just allow your mind to just waste away. Not contributing back to the human family. Your gift that God has given to you. You have a gift. We can't just sit on our gifts. That is why our country is in the state of affairs it is today, because we have brilliant minds sitting in the comfort of their homes, satisfied, not realizing that you're like a frog in the frying pan. The heat is still underneath you, and eventually you're going to get cooked. Okay? At some point, we need to get up. Do something that you have never done before. We can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. Come election day, I just need my 6 people, and that's it. And I will feel accomplished. You know why? I have given people an option. I've given people an option. And a genuine option at that. Because I'm not looking for anything. If I can open up my heart and my head and my mind and just open it up and show you, you'll see. I don't need nothing. I don't need nothing. I love people. I love people because I love my God. And people are the most important resource in this earth. And we need to start put the priority where the priority lies. And our priority is in our people. We need to start giving priority to our people. You who have whatever gift, whatever it is that you can do, or whatever position that you're in, use that position, use that gift to help. Use it to help somebody else. Every single body has something to offer. Everybody does. Nobody is different or higher than anybody. Brianna, you have a beautiful voice. You can sing. Get some lyrics out there. Waking up the people. Inspiring the people. Use that voice, Brianna. Mr. Lambe, you have this. Okay, we're born in a generation, where we were always able to make something out of nothing. Not this entitled generation here going around that feels that they're entitled to everything and anything, right? We're that generation. We can't just disappear in the wind like that. It's wicked. It's wicked. We have to leave a mark. And this is me leaving my mark. This is me giving of myself. That's why when people would ask, or when people would use that phrase, and people get in politics, all when they don't want thing. Sweetie, if you allow people to do their jobs properly, you would understand that a politician is an employee. If you take that mindset, you'll see that they're giving of themselves. But the ones that you keep giving, electing, of course, they are about themselves and their family. Check their bloodline. Check it. Check the PUP and the PUP and the UDP bloodline. You'll see. They are all related. They're all related. Doesn't matter who they bring in. Right? They're all related. So we will keep getting the same pile of tutu. Just with a different face. So that I can agree with my people when they say that. Everybody will put there. Yes, everybody that you put there will do that, because if you put everybody that is UDP or PUP, there you will get PUP constitution and UDP constitution. PUP policies and UDP policies, which says that party is first, people is last. And which says that my child or my family is more important than yours. Which says that, just give them a little water. They're thirsty. Just give them a little water. Just barely to quench their thirst. But not give them a full glass of water that they're full and satisfied. Just give them a little bit. That's what they keep doing from 1981 up until now. All right? No, I'm supposed to be okay with that. Say whatever you want. Call me whatever you want. Be negative all you want. I just gave myself an option, because come election day, I have another choice. I don't have to vote PUP and I don't have to vote UDP. And I know that there are people out there just like me with the same mentality, That's why a lot of people don't go vote. I was one of those at one point that says, you know what, I'm not going to go vote. Yes, exactly. I was one of those people who I'm not going to vote because it don't make no sense. Yes, you're right. It doesn't make sense. But when you see somebody else steps up, then it makes sense. Go vote. And go vote for the independent candidates. Like I said in my other video, I wish that there were independent candidates in 31 constituencies. Just go offer on yourself, man. You don't need to spend no money. No, just go offer yourself. Get 6 people for backyard nomination day. Go offer yourself. We have brilliant people in this country. We could put Belize on the map. I don't want to hear anything about no tourism. Because we all know that, again, only the mafia families, them and their colleagues and their cohorts and their friends and their members and whoever else connected to them is the real beneficiaries behind those, because only they have the big resorts and the hotels and the this and the that and blah, 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 blah. The people them that was trying to do their little rentals to the little tourists out of their own homes, they still want a part of that. How wicked can you be? Leave the people them alone. Let them live, man. There's so much. You have so much. What you're gonna do? You're gonna stifle. These people are like a big fat pig at the table, just eating and shitting at the same time. So they eat, so then they shit. Excuse my French. But it gets tiring because you keep seeing it over and over and over and over again like a cycle. It gets really tiring seeing that. All right? And then what is even more tiring is the fact that we have people who are able to execute and do far more exceedingly abundantly better than these people. All right? So when people are talking about, like, let's say people like to talk about the folks that they give money to, right? A lot of these folks don't know about the Constitution. They don't know. They really don't. They don't know about their rights. They don't know that they actually have a seat at the table. They don't know that they're not supposed to be under the table or across the room waiting to be served crumbs. They don't know this. And that's why I think the onus is on you and the onus is on me, right? To reach out, to do something, anything. Just don't do nothing. Just don't do nothing. Stop doing nothing. Okay? Because nothing is not going to help you in the long run. No, it's not going to help me in the long run. And at the end of the day, no make no ghost fool you. We are all connected. What affects you affects me. And what affects me affects you. Directly or indirectly. All right? So it starts with understanding our rights. And not allowing anybody to trample on these rights. These God-given rights. These fundamental rights and freedoms that we have. Freedom of speech. Freedom of expression. I hear the Mr. Perifeet. I'm not going to call him that title because these people, everybody like to get hooked up on titles. I hate titles. Mr. Perifeet said that the law ends where my face begins. You can't make a law for everything. At some point you have to allow people. Not even God have a law for everything. Okay? That's why it gives you conscience. And you can't protect people from everything. You can't. Or else you disturb the balance in this earth. You have to leave people room to make error and to make mistakes, to do things. It's a part of the balance. You can't make no law for everything. He just look like a big fat pig that just needs to just vomit and go number 2 and just disappear. These people, their titles and because they're the power, or they get this power and they feel like, oh, I have arrived. You have arrived at nothing. Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, you cannot take that away from anybody. And I am not responsible for how anybody feel. And that's what I really want you guys to understand when it comes to this cybercrime bill and when it comes to this the equal opportunity bill. You understand? You cannot be responsible for how people feel. People feel for no reason. How can you defend yourself against people's feelings? And you have some people, like I said, that don't like people for no reason, waiting for an opportunity just to destroy them. Okay? So when you create bills like those cybercrime bills, when you create bills like the equal opportunity bill, you are creating a problem. And I would see why they would love to they create these bills though, because it gives the lawyers work. They get paid regardless whether they win or lose case. They get paid. So it is in their interest to trump up as much laws against them that they themselves, they know that they're not able to do. The Bible tells you about that as well. That men create these laws and these rules and these restrictions and these burdens on other men that they themselves are not able to do, or they themselves do not do it, but they expect you to do it. Wake up. And not just wake up, arise. Arise. It's time to rise up. Uprising. No, stand up. Arise, people, arise. Our constitutional rights are being taken from us, left, right, and center. And then when people are identifying it, it's like, I wonder if the obia, it's like they're under a spell or something, because other people will defend them. They defend these things, but you know what it is? Out of fear and lack of knowledge. Again, the Bible tells you, my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So they defend these foolishness. I'm sticking you with the pen here while patting you on the back with my other hand. You that have understanding, you that have wisdom, you that was afforded the privilege to read, to write, you, is your responsibility to rise. Rise, man. And if you don't want to rise, support those who are rising. If it's not in you, maybe that's not your thing. But if you see somebody else rising, you understand? Support them. Because at the end of the day, you will benefit as well. Everybody have their own path to take. But at the end of the day, we all reach the grave. I'm not trying to die full. Whatever it was my purpose to be here in this earth, I want to get rid of that before I go to the grave. I want to go to the grave empty. I'm not taking no dreams to the grave. I'm not taking no ideas. I'm not taking no knowledge. I'm not taking anything. The only thing the grave is going to get is my corpse. That's it. And that's what we all need to do. Empty ourselves out in this earth while we still have life and breath. Don't just go to work, on that hamster cycle, like I call it. I was once there. Everything that I'm talking about here, guys, is something that I have personally experienced and I continue to see in people's daily lives. And that's why I can speak about it so passionately. You understand? And I thank God that I've had that experience, because I'm able to show you and help you from my own experience. I'm not talking anything that I talk out of my mouth. I don't talk what other people say. And no. I like to use myself as an example. Right? I use myself. So let your experiences be to be empty. Empty yourself out in this earth. Don't just go to work. Man, our people are so overworked and underpaid. It is ridiculous. I was speaking, the Constitution here talks about ensure a just system should ensure to provide for education and health on the basis of equality. How many parents make some serious sacrifices? Sacrifice, you know. But there are some sacrifices that are like, and they make these sacrifices so that their children can have a good education. Because they believe in that by giving their children this good education, that they would have prepared them for life. They would have given them, put them on a different step, given them an elevation, okay? Whereby their lives would be better. Again, in the video I did yesterday, I believe, where I touched on that, saying what happened. Children are graduating with associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, and there are no jobs. And the messed up part about it is that they're being educated to be employees, but they're not jobs for these employees. So a lot of these educated children work so hard, long nights, tireless nights. Some of them don't even eat, don't even have adequate housing. You understand? But they make that sacrifice to get that education, and then there is no jobs when they're finished, and then they are not taught, like I said, to even create jobs. You understand? So then they're left there waiting for somebody to give them a job. And then you know how this works in our country. It's who you know. It's not according to this constitution that says advancement is based on the recognition of merit, ability, and integrity. Most people, this one know that one day, you know, and that's it. So our children are being tossed with their good education on the side of the road. And with that same good education are the sacrifices, the sweat, tears, blood of the parents and guardians and uncles and aunties and cousins and friends and other extensive people that contributed to them getting that education. Yeah. So I tell my children, I'm sending you to school not for you to go and be an employee for somebody, but for you to create a job where you see that there is none. Okay? Our children are not being prepared for that. But it's our responsibility. We have to get more involved. We cannot just wait for somebody else to do it. We can't. That's why I'm doing this. Nobody can tell me I'm not doing anything. And if God spares my life, He be willing. If He thinks that I deserve another 5 years and there's another election, my name will be on that ballot again as an independent candidate. Yes, I am doing what I can do. No, you need to do what you can do. Or if it's not that area, in another area, support those that are doing. Encourage. People discouraging. Negativity is real. It's a good thing I have walls that blocks out negativity. It's a good thing. And my walls are strong. They're very, very strong. You gotta block out negativity. I say, imagine people see the racket that our country is in, the exploitation of our resources. You know, the one that really, 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 really irked me most is not even really the exploitation of the resources. You know, the one that really, really irked me more? The blatant disrespect for people and our constitutional rights. That is the reason why I'm here. Blatant disrespect for people and constitutional rights. No, man. They're not getting away with that. Not with me. Not with me. No. Maybe it's something I should have did earlier. I don't know, but I believe everything happens in due time. But that can't work. I love my freedom. I love my freedom. And for those who know me, I'm a comedian at times. You understand? Like to laugh, and I'm humorous. I love to see people laughing and having a good time and enjoying themselves. This draconian era, they're trying to just shove down our throats. If you can live with it, I can't. I personally won't. If you are fine with it, my friend, no problem. But me, Elizabeth Dina, I cannot. I love to operate in my freedom. I love it. I love to see people operating in their freedom. Nothing makes me feel good to see people evolving, people rising. You know, they're getting things done. They have their life, family, everything. I love to see that. I love that. Things don't have to happen. Has to happen to me for me to be happy or for me to enjoy, you know, other people's accomplishment and other people's progress. No, if they're progressing, that's good, because it's telling me that I can do the same, and other people have the same opportunity. Yes, the opportunity is there. But if people not progress, that means the opportunity is not there, and that's a problem. Because it needs to be there according to this constitution. There should be opportunity for advancement. Okay? But if we take the same stand altogether, which is nothing, doing nothing, just sit back and complain and complain and complain and complain and protest. I'll leave that. They protest with a puppy show. Puppy show. That's why I don't participate in those things. Because in a puppy show, if you're going to block something, and yes, I'm saying this because that is what a protest is all about. You're protesting, so that means that you're against. And sometimes when you want to, sometimes there's only certain things that some people understand. If you just talk and do nothing, they don't pay you no mind. That one shared. Oh, that one he always talking. Yeah, they probably do a little thing here, a little thing there, but that's it. But when you act, when you know your rights, when you can say, oh no, that's a violation of my rights, you can't do that. That's all you need to say. You don't need to say anything else after that. Except operate in your constitutional rights, your God-given rights, your inalienable rights, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, culture, freedom of assembly, freedom to move wherever you want to move without be people questioning you and stopping you. And this is something that I'm seeing that I'm so not pleased with, and people ought to get uncomfortable. Them stopping all of these youths on the street, predominantly or black youths. The police, you know how much time I see them doing it, and it irks me. Stopping them. They're riding the bike. Oh, they're black. You understand? You come here. And they stop them. Search them. This constitution says you're not supposed to just search somebody. And we'll get to that. That's why I'm taking it piece by piece by piece. Probably going to take a little while, but we're going to get there. You can't just stop somebody and search them for no reason. That's against the constitutional right. And now they're taking it further. They're not just stopping the young men and searching them. They're taking their pictures. People, must the police start to come in your house with their bags and come sit at your table and tell you that you're supposed to feed them and you can't say anything? Must they start coming in your house now and take your money? I need $100, give it to me. Must that start to happen before you realize that your rights are being violated and that they cannot do that? But they do it because you allow them? Huh? How you just want to see a youth because he's on a bike and you want, that is what people call profiling. And my thing is that majority of these youths that they're stopping and searching and taking pictures are our black youths. Very rare when you see them, they have a Hispanic or mestizo or whatever you want to call it. It's very rare. I see that all the time. And then the most troubling part about it, people just walk like it's nothing. They see it, they just walk. When I see it, I stop. When I see it, I stop, I intervene. What's the problem, officer? I got told once, an officer told me once, Miss, this is not your business, you can continue. I said, oh, this is my business because this could be my son. Now, did he commit a crime? Miss, I just regular. No, they can't be no such thing as no regular stop and search and take picture of a young black man. There is no such thing. What is it? What is it? What you mean is just a regular search? I don't see you regular searching the real criminals, eh? That you know exactly where they are, who they are, what they're doing. You're setting these children up to become criminals. That's what's happening. And people just okay with it. Even in error, you still have a constitutional right. It does not give the government, the authorities, the police, no lawyer, no nobody, to treat you in certain manner, even if you are in error. And if we are not going to defend our youth, please tell me who will. Please tell me who will. Who will defend them? They are already lacking getting the education that they need. Before you even reach education, they are already lacking what this constitution says is their right, which is adequate means of livelihood. They're already lacking that before we even reach education and health. Adequate means of livelihood for all. It didn't say for some or only a few, or if you are Mr. So-and-so, related or friend or whatever. Adequate means of livelihood for all. This constitution says so. So when we sit and we watch these things happen and we do not take a stand on it, we allow it to happen. And we say, oh yes, because the police they're helping for my protection and blah 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 blah. No, they're not protecting you when they do things like that. They're actually doing more harm than good, because now what they're doing is they're breeding criminals. You're teaching the young men them that the law is your enemy. A policeman is your enemy. And these people are in place to protect and to serve, not to violate and to oppress. Protect and serve. Nobody's saying anything about that. Everybody's okay with it. Gangs. I have to laugh. Do you know who said we have gangs in Belize? The media. Media houses I have respect for you guys, but when it comes to this thing about gangs in Belize, I find it as a joke. Because anybody know that real gangs are not broke. They're not living from hand to mouth. Gangs are not living from hand to mouth. Okay? Real gangs. We don't have no gangs in Belize. That terminology came from the media, calling these young men gangsters. We don't have gangsters in Belize. What we have are impoverished young men surviving in survival mode. That's what we have. Impoverished young men in survival mode. There ain't no gangs. There is no gang in Belize. We don't have gangsters. We have impoverished young men in survival mode. Because once you are lacking, and that goes for me, it could be the prime minister, the king. When lack enters, trust me, survival mode kicks in. And you will do what you need to do to survive. That survival mode, that don't make you no gang. There is no organized, well, there is organized crime in Belize. That's the PUDP mafia families, as I call them. That's the real organized crime right there. That's the organized crime. That is where our real gangsters are. Not the young men trying to survive. Their hand man. They have been, if you're well, you know, pity pat is one of our pastime here in Belize. Most people grow up playing pity pat. So most of our young black men, they have been dealt a stiff hand And every hand that they are dealt is stiff. Or black men. Now, I'm not making excuses for them. I'm calling it what it is. And the quicker you see that, the quicker we all see it, we're able to identify the real issue, then the quicker our economy or people or country is going to heal and is going to start growing. These young men are impoverished and they are in survival mode, doing whatever is necessary for them to survive. Okay? That is the reality of it. Right? Trade schools. Where are our trade schools? It's not everybody that is meant to sit in a classroom and listen to lectures and write on paper and all of that stuff. Everybody is not cut out for that. Where are our trade schools or technical schools, you understand, that would focus on these people whose gifts are in their hands, you know, builders, you know, electricians, carpenters. Please don't tell me nothing about IT vet. Please, I don't want to hear anything about IT vet. All right? And all the other sham, eggshell, as I call them, all the other eggshell programs or projects that are in this country, because all of them is just that eggshell. They get grants, they get funding to do these things, and then they do it. But it's just like a shell. If people are even getting really the basics, that would be nice. You understand? But they're not getting enough to carry them through. They're just barely for the first 2 steps and that's it. Okay? Our constitutional right says we are supposed to have adequate means of livelihood for all. A lot of these young men that are hanging out and like what people, they're gonna hang out and smoke weed and da 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 da. And I think people just like hearing themselves say that. I think after a while people just enjoy hearing themselves say that. Oh, they white out, but they want to sit down wrong and smoke weed. And then somebody, you know, what comes in because they have to get a part of the conversation so that they could feel like, yeah, they feel good now. So they're gonna contribute their 2 cents. True. That's true. They do what list? They don't want to do nothing. They know this, they know that. Funny enough, black people have been working for free for 400 years, building other people's. Yeah. Then this, then that, then tara. Stop being so quick to get on a negative bandwagon. Jump on the positive side, no? It's so easy for people to tear down other people. They just want to start. That's it. Who want to carry it? Gone. Stop being so negative. Stop tearing down people. The more you speak negative, the more negativity we will have. Negative breed negative. Start speaking life into people, man. Start speaking positive. Okay? The more we speak negative, the more we look towards the bad in people, or expect the bad, or expect the negative. That's what we're going to get. Guys, I'm running low on my battery here. That's what we're going to get. Negative. So we have to stop that. Okay? We need to stop it. It's getting out of hand, and it's not creating an atmosphere that will allow us to live the abundant life that we're supposed to be living in this earth. We have a beautiful, rich country. And again, I think we have more than 500,000 people living in this country. Don't listen to their statistics, their so-called statistics, because there's none. Everything in this country is a shell. And that's what we need to change. We need some real statistics. People out there actually getting stuff done. It's not hard. It's not a lot to do. But they take us all around these ropes and take us here and take us there to make it look like they're doing something. That's all it is. We have a rich country. We could provide for these young men, show them different. You think so they like to sit down on the street corner just to smoke weed all day? Who's giving them a job? Who's teaching them to be an entrepreneur so that they could create a job? Who's giving them that opportunity? The same opportunity that the Constitution says should be there. Opportunity for advancement. Where is their opportunity? Except it be at Colby Foundation to get there. So the liar could get paid, because when they go and represent them, it doesn't matter. Where is their opportunity? All right. We have to get back to this Constitution. We have to understand our rights. And not just for ourselves, but to make sure that our rights are not being violated. Neither is the rights of other people. And when we see those rights being violated, we do something about it. And not just sit back and allow it to happen. Okay? So folks, I'm going to have to call it quits for now. I'll be back a little bit later on this evening to get into part E of this Constitution. I have not done that as yet. I'm here talking. But I'm going to do part E a little bit later on. After this phone charge, maybe I might just come back on. Who knows? Because here it's still early, 7:30. I have my day planned out for me and everything, right? So part E, I'll be able to do that. But I have to get this phone charged. My apologies. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you have learned something. Please comment, share with me, share with Belize, because you know something that I don't. I need to hear from you. We all need to hear from each other. Iron sharpens iron. Okay? So I thank you very much for listening in, right? I'll continue with my part E, like I said, later on today. So do enjoy the rest of your morning so far while I prepare this part E, because this is quite lengthy. Part E of has having to do with policies to state to protect and safeguard the unity, freedom, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Belize, and a little bit more. So part E is quite lengthy, but that's just the first sections of the Constitution. We're just dealing with just the first page. See, just the first. But I believe in talking and discussing it as reading it and actually discussing it, so people, the common person, that not everybody could understanding big words like when people are like the talk. No, we want our people understand. So I'm using examples and putting in little things so that they can relate to what I'm saying, or what this is, Everybody learn different. So that's why you see me talking and bringing in examples and going here and going there. It's intentional, all right? Because everybody hears and, receives differently. So I'm trying to cater for everybody, all right? Especially our people that needs it the most, all right? So again, thank you guys. And we'll talk a little bit later. Have a wonderful day today.